So what is up, guys? This is Tomey Dev here, and today I'd like to talk about TRP right now. Now, there is going to be a re-release of Tomey's RP or a remaster, and if you're wondering why it was so quick, and the absolute reason why has to do with the fact that TRP did not do so well, especially because of the fact that it was not advertised as much, which the reason why it's not advertised as much has to do with the fact that TRP is having a lot of problems, and we are trying to update the game, but sadly, even when it's on its release, it was pretty much like still pretty early, especially when it's still released. And sadly, sometimes there's nothing we can really do about it. Some of the problems, I mean. Now, I'm not saying that the entire game itself is going to, be scrapped, because of course it's not. But there were plans to scrap the game at some point. I mean, TRP back then wasn't like TRP right now, and even then, I may or may not do something with TRP at this moment in time. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But still, Tomey's RP is going to be re-released, and the updates will come as promised. I know how some of you have been complaining about some of the, not necessarily complaining, but giving constructive criticism on some of the problems with Team ERP, and I actually think that that's a good thing, giving me feedback on this, because without this feedback, this game would have not succeeded without you guys. Well, not necessarily succeeded, but necessarily had the decency of a little bit of people that we have right now. Of course, I will still continue working on TRP. It's not going anywhere, and I'm hoping that I can continue it. And I'm also wanting to see if TRP will be, well, actually, no, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, guys, but this video is obviously not scripted or edited because I don't necessarily edit or script my videos as much, but, TRP, it is going to get a re-release as promised. It will, in fact, get... Well, you know what? I'm just going to get straight to the point right now. TRP is going to be re-released, guys. And again, I said the reason why, but it was because of the fact that TRP did not do so well when it first released. Now, unfortunately, this kind of comes down to the fact that it was not advertised as much. Plus, even then, TRP was not going to get what it wanted anyways. Whether it was a good game or not, it didn't matter. And sadly, I had plans originally for TRP to be just completely scrapped. And if you're wondering exactly why, not necessarily scrapped, but also not necessarily scrapped, but also just cancelled. And if you're wondering why that is, it is because of the fact that Tomey's RP had a rough upbringing, especially when it came down to development, especially when it came down to a lot of things. And even then, it was just mainly like me and another person. I mean, other people were in fact doing the game, and I think that that's cool and all, Fact is that we kind of had a team, and sadly, this team kind of got really busy, and no one could really do much. But it's not necessarily the team's fault. It is just the fact that everyone was just busy with life, and people have other things to do, sadly, and a lot of that stuff is out of my control. But it was not just that. Some other people were asking me for money, and sadly, I cannot. If you're willing to work for me for money, I can't give you money, and I'm sorry about that. But it's true. I can't give anyone money because I don't trust people with the money sometimes, and a lot of the time neither do my parents. I mean, hell, that was the only reason why TRP never even got any kind of commissions at all in the first place. We never had any commissions. The only real commissions we had was from friends I knew in real life, and people I also kind of knew online as well. I mean, they weren't necessarily all commissions. They were just kind of just working under Starblock Studios essentially for a while, mainly for TRP. Everything else was just not is still in pretty early phase. Like Commodity Russia and the Yandere game, they're in early phase right now. And even then, I am not sure if the Yandere game is going to even be released at all. But I definitely do know that Commodity Russia and the other ones are definitely going to release. Because I have a lot of plans for it. I have a lot of plans for both TRP and my other games as well. In fact, TRP ain't the last thing that I'll be making, because it won't. In fact, there'll be more games coming from me. A lot of them with old ideas, new ideas, things of the sort. And I am hoping that when TRP's new updates, new re-release comes out, that the updates will in fact come in. And even then, some scrapped content will come to TRP, believe it or not, because that is what it is. TRP, it will have. We'll try to see though if we can add some scrapped content that we originally had planned for TRP, but because of issues and it not necessarily working with whatever we wanted to have it with, it didn't. Like, one of the things that was in fact scrapped at first was actually, not to say scrapped, but what was kind of scrapped before release was actually the OC saver. This was going to be basically like a thing that would have taken your roleplay name and your OC and saved them into a GUI. It was essentially similar to Arctic's and AW's OC saver before AW's was a thing. Before AW's OC saver, I mean, was a thing. The reason I made TRP though was actually because of the fact that the main reason why I even made TRP in the first place is because of the fact that TRP was essentially supposed to be something that not necessarily AW, but just in general, I didn't like how AW's development was going. I didn't like how slow it was compared to how, other games had like quick updates, not necessarily quick updates, but like just decent amount of updates that took decent amount of time, and that unfortunately kind of frustrated me a lot. And instead of just telling the developers or doing that kind of thing, I instead went to go make my own FNAF inspired roleplay game rather than copy off of what was already, popular, because, that just feels lazy. But also, I do plan on completely overhauling a lot of stuff with TRP. That includes the morphs, some of the maps. Essentially, just TRP just needs a revamp in general, and I'm hoping to bring that back to TRP so that way, when it gets re-released again, we can at least have some kind of, way for it to be actually decently good, without, sacrificing a lot of stuff. Or too much stuff, essentially. So, other than TRP, there's not really much other than to say that TRP is doing okay. I do hope that TRP does in fact get more updates, and some of the scrap content even does come back. And I am going to go offline for now, guys. I'll see you all the next time I upload I upload a video. I'm sorry, guys. This video is just not scripted at all, and I had no intentions of making a video. And so next time I might see if I can get a script and read from a script rather than just, try to talk honestly, because I just basically don't have a script, and it just is kind of embarrassing that a 100 sub channel does not have. Well, it's not necessarily embarrassing, but it just feels a little wonky. But I will fix this and later on, and I'm hoping to. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all this weekend for the next video I will be making. Goodbye for now, adios, and goodbye.